Today we're gonna talk about composition, and I'm gonna talk about the rule of thirds. This is a guideline which many photographers and cinematographers like to use. And it looks like this if the paper is lying down. As you can see, we have 9 equal panels and 4 focus points, and between them guidelines. This is a tool to use to avoid putting characters, for instance, in the middle, like such. Because characters perhaps in the middle isn't as interesting in the image, it's not a good composition. You could use the rule of thirds, for instance, a horizon in the background. Maybe there are some characters in the background. Then you can use the focal points to put characters in the background. That is a way to make it better by using the rule of thirds. But usually you want to compose a little bit more after the rule of thirds. So for instance, let's do the same image again, but this time let's put the character on one of the focal points up here and have him follow this guideline. And we can put one character perhaps in the background, also following the guidelines. And we can still use the horizon. Now, perhaps it's a bit more interesting. You could always, follow up, putting more people in the background like such, using the heads on this line. So it's a tool to use to place characters and objects to make them look a little bit more better in the composition. And for most times it's best used when it comes to landscapes. So for instance, we could have a horizon here. We could have a character looking down, looking out on a sunset. The sun is going down. So we place a character. Maybe his hands is in his pockets. We have a shadow because he's standing with the back against us, like such. We could use one other focal point and have the sun going down on that focal point and lying on the horizon that we created. And with that we could also create, maybe he's standing on a beach, he's looking at the sun going down out in the ocean. We could perhaps put some birds on the line there if we wanted to. So when I remove, you can see, boom, we have a composition, because these are just guidelines to kind of show you where you could have the focus points, where it's good to have the focus points. These are the focus points. The other ones, the lines, are guidelines for horizons, for verticality and horizontally. What else could we do with this? Well, as you can see, we can use it for a lot of things. But also, let's do this. We're gonna duplicate this layer. We're gonna push it here. And we're gonna do it like this. Scale, and we're gonna go boom, boom. Here we go. As you can see, you can also use it while the paper is standing. It's the same deal, but now you have a lot more to work on the verticality aspect. So here, remember, it doesn't have to be small just because the focus point is small. So we could do a very big focal point like this and have the character once again walking away from other people here. And you could have perhaps in the background a smaller character still on the focus point in the background here. showing that he's walking away from that character. As you can see, we're using the guidelines and we're using the focus points. We could also, if we wanted to, use the lines for the horizon. So it's a tool. If you're not good at composition, it's a very easy, very accessible guideline to help you out. Sometimes this won't work for you. There are other ways to compose as well, or composition as well. So remember, this is just a tool that could work sometimes for you, and it's up to you how to use it. But as you can see, I've shown you a couple of ways you can use it. It's up to you, the rest, to figure out what you could do with it. I'm gonna leave it here because I want you to try it out. If you're doing an image, try to use the rule of thirds and see if it works for you. If not, that's quite alright. It's just a tool that you can use if you need it. I hope you have learned something today, and I will see you in the next tutorial video. Bye.